Harassment has begun by Democrats, as only Democrats, but acting like it's everybody in the House. They have this now coronavirus oversight panel. It's filled with Democrats, and now they have tried to shame or assault or attack 5 different companies, demanding that they return their small business loans. They say that we're not supposed to go to them because they have deemed them not to be a, quote, small business. Now, the panel of Democrats sent these requests to these companies, telling them you got to pay this money back. They said they're focusing on companies that, quote, are public, have market capitalization of more than $25 million, have more than 600 employees, and sought and received small business loans of $10 million or more. So get ready for massive layoffs come Monday if you hit that criteria. Businesses are not going to be stupid on this one. They're going to know what exactly here is going on, and they're going to realize, I don't want to fight with the government. Fine, I'll give the money back. They're not going to want to fight with literally the U.S. government. Anybody saw what the U.S. government did to Flynn? Would you want to fight with them right now? I wouldn't, and we'll deal with that coming up later in the show. Let me get to your phone calls now. 1-877-381-3811. Let me go to Doc in the Woodlands, line 2. Welcome. You're on the Mark Levin Show. Ben Ferguson filling in. How are you, Doc?
Hey, Ben. Thank you for taking my call. I appreciate your time, and great to chat with you on the Mark Levin Show.
You too, brother. You and I are breathing the same air today, my friend. What a great day of weather here in the Houston area.
It is great. And you know, I'm about as conservative as it gets, but I have to take you to task on and disagree with you on the public and firm versus the private firm.
Don't take me to task. Convince me, and I mean this sincerely, okay? Convince me how, if somebody works for a company that has 600 employees and they're going to be laid off and they get a loan from the government and they get to keep that job, convince me why that is a bad loan to give out.
It's not a bad loan as long as it saves jobs. We both know that.
Do you remember? I don't know. Are you a religious man at all?
Absolutely.
There is, and I'm going to botch this, but if you'll probably know what I'm talking about. Have you ever seen that poster? And I saw it in, children's church. That's how long ago we're talking here. Of the kid on the beach that is picking up all of the starfish that have been washed onto the shore. And a man, and I'm paraphrasing this, so I'm going to botch it a little bit, but the premise is authentic. And he's walking down the beach, and the storm had come in, and all these starfish had come up onto the beach. They were beached, they're stranded, and he's throwing them back in the water. And an adult says to the child, you know, why are you wasting your time? You'll never get them. You know, what are you doing? It doesn't matter. And he said it mattered to that one. That's how I look at this PPP program. If you work for a bigger company and you did get this loan, and your job is, say, because of this loan, it matters to that American that's working just as hard as someone that may be at a very small business. Why does it really matter as long as you meet the criteria and you keep the people employed? Does it really matter? Almost like that starfish. I would argue it doesn't to that American. Now, I don't want to rush this. Hold on for me. I'll come right back to you, and I'll let you answer that, okay? Ben Ferguson, filling in for Mark Levin, 1-877-381-3811. We'll be right back.
If you and your family are finding yourself at home with extra time on your hands these days, I know an excellent way to fill it. Take a free online course from Hillsdale College. Hillsdale offers dozens of online courses on topics including the U.S. Constitution, economics, history, and literature. Right in your own home, on demand, and absolutely free of charge. Hillsdale students learn the inspiring history of America. Now you can too, with Hillsdale's newest free online course, The Great American Story, A Land of Hope. Learning and teaching our children about America's past is essential for preserving liberty in the future. Register right now to take this free online course, The Great American Story. It's a production masterpiece, and it paints a picture of America as a land of hope founded on high principles. This course and dozens of others on a variety of topics are available to you and your family for free right now. Go to levinforhillsdale.com, Levin for Hillsdale.com.
They can clone the others, but there's only one Mark Levin, and you can call him at 877-381-3811.
So the PPP loan program was supposed to be to save jobs, to keep people employed. Now Democrats have used their power in Congress to harass and stalk companies that they say were too big and had too many employees that got the money. Now the question is, if your job is saved because of a PPP loan, does it really matter how big the company is that got the loan amount? Let's have that debate and that conversation. Now they have sent out these letters trying to make examples of companies with a new criteria. The Democratic panel sent out 5 letters to 5 companies today demanding the money back by Monday. They say they're focusing on targeting companies that are, quote, public. Apparently that makes you evil. Have market capitalization of more than $25 million and have more than 600 employees and sought and received small business loans of $10 million or more. Guess what's going to happen? Money's going to come back, and a whole bunch of people are going to lose their jobs next week. Is this fair for the Democrats to do this? Now, I want to go back to Doc. Doc, I made my point before the break with you, and the point that I was making is one that at this point, with the unemployment numbers where they are, and we saw the new unemployment numbers. It's the highest of my entire life, unemployment. At this point, do we even really need to worry about whose job we're saving based on the size of the company as much as is the money being used to keep people employed? I'll let you go ahead and respond to that.
Ben, thank you. So 2 points. One, there should have been 2 packages, one for small business, one for large business. That was my assumption when I first heard about this a month ago.
That you and I can agree on. I think they rushed it. They were trying to save jobs as fast as they could, and I'm one of those. We got PPP money at my business, okay, with my small businesses. They rushed it. I totally agree with you. They should have had 2 different bailout packages, and people don't like using the word bailout, but that's what this is, right, to keep people employed. They should have, but they didn't. So now we're going to punish bigger companies that got in on this, and by the way, did meet all the criteria that they did give out. And then they're going to lay off people. I have a hard time understanding how that helps the actual worker that we're trying to keep employed.
Ben, my second point is that public firms have such a huge advantage over private firms. They can raise money and generate capital based in numerous ways, issuing stock, preferred or common. They can issue bonds, which small companies can't. They have swaps, derivatives. They have contracts, forwards, and the options. They can use all these tools, these financial tools, to generate capital to stay solvent, and small companies can't. And that's why, this should have been, yes, definitely a small company, but there should have been something on the other side for the large businesses. And that's what I always assumed when I heard it, when President Trump was talking about it. This is how the airlines were going to get bailed out. This is how the big businesses were going to be bailed out in another package. But shame on us for trusting the Democrats to think that they were ever going to help a big business.
All right, let me ask you this question, and I think some of the points you made were valid points. All right, if you are, excuse me, a bigger business that meets these requirements they talked about, 600 employees, et cetera, public company, you're right. You do have the ability to do all those things, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to lay people off while you're trying to get the money back in.
No, and at that point, you're absolutely right. 2 is that, yes, an employee is an employee, a body is a body. And an unemployment figure is an unemployment figure, and it doesn't matter where it comes from. It's still going to be counted as one person unemployed, no matter where they were.
So, and that then again, that goes back to the point here. What are the Democrats are, instead of helping Americans right now, instead of rewriting a bill, even you could argue, okay? What you're doing is all they're doing here is attacking people. That's it. They're attacking people's jobs by attacking businesses that are larger. How is that good for the American worker?
They're not an American company or a party. They're no longer a part of this country. They are something else other than a party that represents people in this country. They are actually an ideology that is trying to subvert this country, and we both know that. we see the actions.
All right. I'll see what others think, and I appreciate the phone call. Great to talk to you, sir. 1-877-381-3811. Let me go next to Brian. Welcome. You are on the Mark Levin Show. Ben Ferguson filling in. Hello.
Hey, Ben. How you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you?
Good. I wanted to talk about. I love WMAL and listen all day, every day. But I kind of don't agree with what you're saying right now, man.
All right. Then tell me why I think it's wrong that the Democrats are targeting these companies the way they are.
Well, I don't. I agree with you on what they're doing right now, as far as what you said today. But the problem is, it's been a problem the whole system long, with the SBA going out and giving the money out, and then they're short funded, and then like me as a small business, I can't even. You're talking about $25 million. I can't even get $10,000 for my company to help out. So, and I get.
Hold on, when you say you can't get $10,000 for your company, you mean from the PPP?
Yes. I have a small landscaping company in Prince William County, Virginia.
What made you not be able to qualify for it?
It's not that I haven't been qualified. My Bank of America, we've just been in limbo, just like everybody else.
All right. Now, all right. So you're getting screwed by the big bank. That's completely different than you not being able to get the money. And this is one of the problems that they did do. All right. And we experienced this with our loan. We went to a small bank. We went to a local bank. And if you still haven't gotten your money out, I encourage you to do that ASAP, because the big banks, and one of the things they screwed up here, and they could have fixed this, by the way, in the second round of funding, and apparently it was blocked by the Democrats, was to say that you had to do the loans on the order in which they were received. What the big banks like Bank of America did was they shuffled the loans based on the amount of money that you were asking for, because their fee that they were being paid, okay, the fee they were being paid is based on a percent on the total loan amount. You're never probably going to get your money from Bank of America, because why are they going to waste their time funding your loan when there's somebody else ahead of you that's asking for $100,000 or $250,000 or $5 million or $10 million or $15 million? You get my point?
100%. I understand what you're saying.
And they could have fixed this. They knew it was a problem. We had on my show Lamar Alexander, who helped write this bill, and we asked him about that, because I said, Senator, come on. It's obvious that these big banks and some regional banks are reshuffling these loans based on the number that you're asking for, not based on when you brought in your application. We barely got our E-number, and I knew this front and back right when it passed. Within 30 minutes of it passing, I had on Senator Alexander, and he told us everything you need to know. We were in on Friday, and we almost didn't get the money before it ran out. We were on the Wednesday before it ran out on Thursday. We finally got our E-number, and that was after beating down the door at the bank, because we knew what was, we were hearing what was happening out there. And people like you, real small businesses, you got screwed, no doubt. But you're getting screwed by the bank, not necessarily the loan process. You get my point? The bank is deliberately saying you don't matter, and that's unfair. I agree.
The big banks, they still getting bailed out years ago, and they still don't want to help nobody, and just it's the same old song and dance, man. You're right. You know what? You don't have to put me on the air. I appreciate just talking to you, man.
Hey, great to talk to you. Thank you, sir. 1-877-381-3811. 1-877-381-3811. Let me go to Joe in Detroit. Welcome. You are on the Mark Levin Show. Ben Ferguson filling in tonight. Hi.
Hi.
Give me your thoughts.
This is Joe from Detroit. I'm self-employed. I'm an artist, and there's dozens and dozens of my fellow artists that we're all self-employed and we all qualify.
Artists as in like art, or as in music?
Art as in physical art.
Got it. Okay, gotcha. Just making sure.
Yeah, but the category that, see, we kept hearing all the small businesses they're going to do this for small business. What about the self-employed small business person? I think this kind of talks similar to the other guy you just had on, as a landscaper, depending on how big he is. There's small guys like that running around. They do the lawn.
Well, let's go back to the Democrats here. Instead of harassing these 5 businesses, right, that got the money that are keeping people employed, why aren't they harassing the banks for screwing the small businesses that they never funded before this money ran out the first time and now the second time around, where guys like the last one who desperately needs his